Thank you so much for joining me again on part 2 of our accreditation process. In part 1, we saw that you need to be prepared. You cannot go into accreditation without a full preparation. Once again, welcome to BBT Institute. I am Mr. Yusuf Nsamba, the assessor for learning programs that are aligned to the ETDP SETA, that is the Education and Training Development Practices, that includes assessment, facilitations, and moderation practices, learning program design, as well as skill development facilitation programs. So before we can continue, I just want to appreciate all those who have subscribed. Please share this video. Let it reach other individuals and parties that might have interest into our videos, as well as the information that we give out here. Remember that if you share it, it will lead to other individuals having to tap into this resource. Thank you so much. Click onto that notification bell so that you can receive now and then videos when we post them or when we go live. Share this video. Alternatively, if you want more information, please go on to our bio. It will give you more descriptions of the video as well as our contact details, so that you can be able to reach us on one-on-one consultation to support you in terms of provider accreditation, learning program design, and the strategies on how to start up a training academy or to establish or extend your scope to other relevant sectors of education and training authorities. So let's continue. In the first part, we saw that before you can actually be able to apply for accreditation, you need to prepare yourself. You need to know what you're going to facilitate. You need to know the program that you are going to facilitate, to offer as an institution, and then you need to be organized. So going forward, we're going to look at other aspects onto how does one now put together a plan to design a program or to select a program that is relevant into your own circumstances. Like I said, anybody can offer training, but if you have not prepared yourself and planned well for a program, it is going to be very difficult to implement this. That's why accreditation is key, because without accreditation, the quality of training that is offered might not be of a quality or sufficient to exit individuals into the workforce. The whole purpose of you being accredited is that the amount and the quality of work that you are putting in will ultimately result into the greater output of individuals that will be competent enough to offer training, to offer support, and as well as to deliver in their respective, sectors. So that's why we need to go through the process of being accredited, evaluated, and verified that indeed we are able to offer a standardized, program, as well as we have full commitment to deliver any intervention. So that's why you have to go through that accreditation. It's not for entrepreneurs, I repeat, who see a tender onto a gazette, and then you jump into and want to deliver training. It will be a disaster. So even though you want to implement trainings, so you need to also focus on to aligning yourself with the relevant, quality assuring bodies to ensure that you are able to deliver and offer accredited trainings. Yeah, so I always emphasize on training providers who are not familiar with the industry to first make research, right? So that you are familiar with the industry that you want to offer training. Right. So now that you have got yourself, interested into going through or going forward, you need to select a program. Now, a program is selected based on your economic sector. There's so many economic sectors out there, from education to transport to health to agriculture, mining. All those are economic sectors, and every economic sector there is a need for skilled labor force. There is a need for skilled labor. There's always a gap where workers need to be skilled up, or new entrants of workers needs to be trained to be able to occupy those positions that have been remain vacant. So that's why you need to be selective. You need to know which economic sector are you going to be focusing much more on, and then where and how you're going to start to implement program will be a matter of just planning on how to do it. Now, if we go into details, a program need to be selected. Once you select a program, we need to plan for that program before you can actually be able to implement. The process of accreditation starts by one sitting down to plan for accreditation. So when you sit down to plan for accreditation, that's when the process begins. That's when the process begins. So you have to plan well. You have to put documentations together for your accreditation. It begins by proper planning. What does planning entails? What is the composition of whatever you're going to train? What do you have to put together? Just like any other person who's starting up a business, you need to develop a business plan, or you need to project how your business gonna work, gonna go, who's your target market, which areas are you gonna focus on, stuff like that. The product that you're going to sell out or to give out to the target group. The same applies to the program plan. A program plan gives you a full understanding onto how the program is going to be implemented, from the beginning to the end. Who are the stakeholders into this program? What budget have you allocated for the implementation of this program? And what are your expectations? What are the exit strategies that at the end of this program, this is what you want to see? Because at the end of the day, it's not just a matter of training people and leave them there. A good training provider is one who follows up onto the trainees and be able to see if they have actually served the purpose of being trained, not just trained to gain skills and sit with those skills, but training individuals that they can go into the markets and be able to add value. Because remember, when you identify a program, it's like you have identified a problem first. There is a problem that you want to close, but the only way to close that gap is to train individuals that will come in to close the gap that you have identified. So every program works as a solution to solve a problem within a specific economic sector. That's how it's supposed to be. You do not train individuals for the sake of training. And we do not just train people for the sake of just training to make money, but to close up a gap. Ultimately, money will follow you once you implement a proper training and follow up on the trained individuals, on the trainees, follow up that they have actually been placed into their relevant respective work, industries, so that you can benefit from that. Word of mouth goes a long way than advertising and all this. When you find a person who has been trained well with a professional trainer, he is gonna or she is gonna add much more value in terms of selling your brand. That's very key. So you need to not just to train people for the sake of training, but the end result, the outcome of it must add value. Also, to implement a program, you need stakeholders, you need supporters. This will include the practitioners that are going to support you. It will need your facilitators, your assessors, your moderators. It will need you to acquire training materials or develop your own training materials. It will need you to put together where is the training going to take place, the venue, and so on and so forth. This all work together, because without the preparation, you will not be able to meet the criteria of accreditation. When those documentations are needed, you'll be running up and down. Where do I need to train from? This is where you find people actually struggling to find training venues, simply because they didn't plan. It's all about planning. So the best thing is to plan for your training program before you actually launch that application. Putting together a training material, you cannot purchase a training material if you don't know the practitioners who are going to deliver. Because as you purchase the program from the developer or you outsource it, you need to evaluate it and moderate it to feel like to fit into your program policy on delivery, that it does meet the standard, it does talk to your target group, and it's compliant with the criteria set by the quality councils. So you need to know exactly that this program that I've purchased, I have facilitators, I've got assessors and moderators who are going to look at it to evaluate it. So that is very key, not just to get a program and then the end of the day, along the way, you find that the material that you have got doesn't meet the standards. So you have to scrabble and get others. You have to look up and down to get materials that is compliant. You did not plan. So planning is key. When you sit down to plan, facilitators are practitioners. They are qualified. Indeed, they speak to the qualification. The assessors are registered with the relevant, quality councils or with the relevant quality partners. Those are the sectors of education and training authorities. The moderators, subcontractors as well, they are registered. The QMS is in place. A quality management system policies are very key. We shall talk about. It's a full topic that I will unpack for you. What is the need and the importance of having a strong QMS within your organization, because it is the driver of a successful business in terms of training and development. Without a QMS, it will be very difficult for you to implement training and development. Once you put all these things together, then you can be able to start the application process. You have got your companies registered, you are compliant with the taxes, taxmen, your SARS is compliant with income tax. You have financial, stability. You are able to produce good financial statements or financial projections for new businesses. You are having a venue where you intend to train from, then the venue is compliant with the occupational health and safety, requirements. So we shall look at that part as well when we dive deeper into the steps by step. And as well, the practitioners are in place, the training material is in place, they have evaluated the training material, and the material is compliant. So if through the material you are able to produce your alignment strategies and then the alignment metrics, these are produced by your own practitioners. They are the one to sit and evaluate and come up with all that information for you. And then you're ready to go. When you have gathered all this documentation, that's only when that you can lodge an application. In my next video, I'll go to unpack step by step. After gathering documents, it becomes very easy to make application to any quality council. Any quality council, it becomes easy because you've got the paperwork, you've got the documents that are required. It's all about lodging an application and following up onto your accreditation process. That becomes something easy and simple to work with. See me again onto my next video. Alternatively, give me a call on 078-359-6200. Visit our website, www.bbtinstitute.com. Book for a consultation, for one-on-one with Mr. Assessor, and then I'll be able to guide you along the way step by step through the accreditation process. It's something that is doable, and once you achieve it, you are able to expand through higher horizons. Thank you, and see you again in my next video.